Hello everybody and welcome back to Dragon Age Veilguard, where we've kind of gone back in time briefly. I think at this point I've uploaded episode 47, and that was technically a mistake. Luckily somebody, thank you so much, David F, with some numbers, thank you so much for pointing out that I was missing 3 Solas memories between episode 46 and 47. I was devastated. I was like, no! And I knew they were somewhere. It turns out I actually found them. I didn't save my Adobe files correctly. I have a system and I messed up. And so the actual file was already edited and everything. I just didn't see it because it was mixed in with a different one. So we have this. These are, I'm gonna slot this in between 46 and 47, and this will be the new 47, I think. But yeah, this picks up directly where we left off with, we had done the first 2 Solas memories, and now we're gonna do the next 3, I think, and then we will have the final one in the next episode 48 now, where there's technical issues, but this one was fine. I just forgot about it in the hullabaloo. It just got misplaced in the holidays and me getting distracted with technical difficulties. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this one. Truly, they drop a lot of lore on our heads, and so I wouldn't want you guys to miss any of this. And I'm so glad, again, that David F, thank you so much for catching it so early. I think, I would have been devastated. So thank you guys for putting up with my sort of miscalculations, and we will hop right into the video.
Uh-oh. That looks blighty.
You dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power!
You will pay the final price for this betrayal.
We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mathol, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after. Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
And by doing that, he destroyed
So he
Elvenon.
locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were terrible, no question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
He didn't know
It
that.
wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elgar'nan and Gillenane are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
Nobody would be alive.
He created the veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yeah, we all knew that.
To keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
I'm like, ooh, I get a Mornwatch opinion. What do I think? No, yeah, Solas says that the veil was an accidental, no, it was a byproduct of what he did. So I think it looked like what he was trying to do was to create a prison, but like a temporal spatial one where they couldn't access the Fade or anything. You know what I mean? They couldn't access any power and they would be trapped. But somehow when he made it, it basically sundered everything from everything. Instead of just sundering them from their power, from magic, from reality, from any, you know what I mean? It took everything and separated everything. Which is wild, and no wonder he freaking slept for 2,000 years after that. You know what I mean? But yeah. Okay, let's see what this is.
Honestly, it's a little terrifying. I've studied the Fade for years with the Watchers. The idea that the veil, a fundamental part of our world, was an accident as Solas sprung its trap.
Astonishing. How little we truly know.
And a good reminder not to start spells you don't know how to finish.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solas trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlethan, at least.
Yep.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape. and turned the Golden City black.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong, Lace?
Say it!
It's just, the Chant of Light says that the Maker built for them the Golden City, the center of all creation. But if the Golden City was an ancient elven palace, the Maker didn't build it. The elves did.
Yes!
The Chant of Light is Andrasti's visions from the Maker, but it sounds like it's wrong.
You're asking if we just disproved the entire Andrastian faith.
I mean, we did the elven
Did
one,
we?
so we freaking better! What time is it? I don't even know. My concept of time is so screwed up. I freaking, if this isn't recording it properly, I'm gonna have a fit. But like, I just, she freaking, of course we did! She literally almost step for step went exactly where I went earlier. Oh my gosh, yes, we're finally tearing apart Andrastianism. It doesn't, you know, it's just, it's not even the fact that it's like the predominant religion that has caused so much harm. It's just the fact that the elves are constantly getting shafted with everything, with all these religious like things, and it's like, oh, your entire culture and like the things you thought were true, your whole world is crumbling out from underneath you now, and we're just supposed to be like, okay, that's fine, as like the elves like sink down further, you know what I mean? And humans are like, haha, you know what I mean? And like all the people who believe in Andrastianism, because it's a lot of people, not just humans, but like now we're like, like I'm so excited. I was like, this is what I said to my friend Subby too, and I think I said it on the recordings. I'm like, if we don't in some way start chipping away at Andrastianism with this, like solidly, like not just like in like supposition or like, you know, it's like, ooh, maybe. I'm like, unless we start actually chopping away at it, I'm gonna be upset, you know, because once we chop away all of these things, you know, and like get to the heart of the matter and figure out who these people are, maybe we can actually figure out if there's actually something else, because like the Eviners were the first of their people apparently in some way, or maybe that's just like a title that they gave themselves, like not like born first, but they were like the most powerful, you know what I mean? So it could be that, but like where did everybody come from, right? Is it like an evolution thing where it's like we, you know, almost random lucky happenstance, a bunch of chemicals and everything, and like, what is that, like just stuff came together and formed up, like everything survived to the point where like now there's like walking, talking creatures thinking, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. That's crazy how like that happens. There are people who are way more eloquent about that than I am, but like I watched a video recently about that like brought it up, and it was just like, isn't that crazy? Like it's so crazy to think that like we exist in like this vast universe, that like somehow here you exist because a bunch of things had to go, like gazillions of things had to go right in order for you to be existing right now, you know? Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. Okay, continued confirmed belief in the Maker. No, speak as someone who does not believe in the Maker. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so you don't have to like put them down, like, and that's the thing, like I don't, putting down any religion is not great necessarily. When it's the one that's like the dominant one, it's like, I don't feel bad for you, you know what I mean? But like, speak as someone who does not believe in the Maker, but you can still say, don't let this shake your faith, you know what I mean? That's not our problem. Don't care about the Maker. I believe Shareheartings believe in anxiety at learning this. If I didn't get something like this for my own elven gods, no, you know what I mean? Speak as someone who does not believe in the Maker. I'm sorry, this hurts. Do not give a personal view regarding belief in the Maker. Speak as someone who does not believe in the Maker. Yeah, I mean, I know she was Mournwatch, and it's technically like it's associated with like Chantry, Andrastian religious beliefs in many ways, but also I think it helps that apparently Navarra is quite out there. I don't know. They're on the fringes, right? They're on the fringes of Andrastianism. They still believe, I think, deeply in the core tenets and beliefs, but like the way they've developed their own brand of it is very unique. And I think that sort of an upbringing would help her to be like questioning things, or at least thinking, and especially if she, in my headcanon, right, believes in like Dalish sort of beliefs, and now is like, I don't freaking know, you know. But at the time it's like there's got to be a way for like both to coexist, maybe, or something for her, you know what I mean, where she's just like, she may not necessarily care about the Maker stuff, but it's like useful in her work, And, like, again, I don't think she was... I don't know. Oh, this is going to be such a nightmare to edit. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to edit. And I'm sweating bullets in here because it's so hot. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. Okay. I wish I had an option to be like, I've never believed in them. Like, I wish I had an option, like a Dalish option, where it's like, now you know how I feel, like my religion just crumbled underneath me. Where's that option? Where's that option for the Dalish? Or at least for an elven person, because even the Dalish aren't the only elves. The city elves, often, some of them still believe at least a little bit in some of the old ways, and believe, like, do what they can with it. So it's like, where's that at, And I 100% think she would. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, but like, oh God, this actually is really frustrating that I don't have a Dalish or an elven option to be like, yeah, it sucks to hear that maybe your religion's crumbling out from underneath you. Oh, it's probably like the biggest misstep besides the world state so far, unless something comes up where I get to actually address that here in a second.
The Maker was never my faith, Lace, but I'm
Okay.
sorry this is hard for you.
All
The
right.
chant of light has seen many iterations over the centuries. This may simply change our understanding of it.
It can evolve.
This was the one I grew up with. My ma still sings the chant.
The Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
The elven gods, the Maker. No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
We're all having
Doctrine
a
is
crisis
not
of
the
faith.
truth. It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
Ah,
Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need killing.
Lucanus is
Looks
like,
like
all
there are
right.
3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
Yeah, we haven't gotten everything, and we only have these 3 memories. Blackened hearts. Dang nabbit. Oh, wait, I have more? I thought I only had 3 statues. Maybe I had 4 statues? Okay. Let's just hop right in. Oh, what is that? Is this the betrayal of Veilguard? Oh, no.
You have so long observed
Yes!
the world. Why not consider joining?
Oh my gosh, this is the...
But I have no desire to live as humans.
Yeah.
I have the Fade. Besides, this talk of taking on a solid form. I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
Delirium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit. I need your wisdom, Solas. To withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elganon. I need you.
The eyes!
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
What?
this is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
I'd rather go back to talking about the blood.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
Oh, please.
No.
No!
Sorry, but... What?
Yes. Yes, and also tragic. So yes, this is confirmation once again that Mythal asked Solas to come and take a physical form, and I was like, because I was looking at that the spirit entity, because I was okay. So when I was like, yes, I was like, oh, this is maybe going to be about the when she asks him to come over, and so she didn't force him. This is wonderful, but it sort of coerced him, and he was potentially a wisdom spirit. It didn't capital the W, but like it's still, I need your wisdom, Solas, and like when they were Fade spirits, they obviously were like very close, right? And she had taken a form, and she had used what? Like, is this how they got their forms? Is by taking Titan, like bits of a Titan or something, or lyrium? Did they use lyrium to craft their bodies? like physical bodies? Is this? Oh my gosh! Wait, is this? So with the story I read earlier to you guys about the Maker, or no, that we read in the game. We read in the game, I think. Yeah, the chant where like the Maker says, "You were my first children, and you didn't really do anything, so I'm gonna make the second ones and like them better." Is this sort of that, where like the spirits were the first ones to exist, and then gave themselves physical form in order? But no, the Titans had physical form, so other things had physical form too. I think this maybe, yeah. But like the elves were the actual original spirits of the Fade, that then some of them took mortal form with lyrium potentially, because they wanted so badly to experience whatever it was that the Maker, who did create everybody potentially, including the elves, or who made who made the spirits, and then the spirits made themselves into mortals, maybe, sort of, because where'd the Maker go? Like what? Like what? And but like she asked him to come over, and it caused him pain, and he transformed, and it changes you. This happened to Cole too in Inquisition, when he comes over and becomes mortal, you know, through like sheer force of will essentially. And like he starts to change and become not quite human, but he's not quite just a compassion spirit either. And Solas advocates for him staying compassion. And in the other memories, we saw Solas being like, at least they died as they were. And I think Solas has this bitterness that he cannot apparently potentially go back to just being a spirit anymore, a formless spirit that was a part of the Fade in ways that a mortal body cannot be. And that's why he loves going back there so much, because even though he can't experience it how he used to, it's still his home. That shape too, that's where the 6 eyes come from. The like antenna essentially of like the spirit, whatever it was, like those were like 6 eyes up there that like matched his dread wolf form. The lore in this, oh my gosh. And then so the Evinuris were maybe the first to create a form for themselves, a physical, of the spirits, the first to create a physical form for themselves. And then more did it afterwards, and that's maybe, because I keep wondering, one of my big fallbacks is that how do a long-lived, eternal people forget that their gods were just generals eons ago? You know what I mean? Like nobody really dies unless they die in like battle or whatever or something. And like how, like such a long-lived people with the thousands of years of memory, like how do you start worshiping people that you used to call friend or general or leader? You know what I mean? And that kind of thing can happen slowly over time, obviously, like if you look at it anthropologically. But like it's just like, how do they have all these tales and stories of this stuff when it's like you were there, you know what I mean? But things do get, you can even kind of, you can convince people, right? It's like the stories change slowly over time, and then what's written down is what has been changed, and is now people are like, oh yeah, that must be how it happened. So I can see how that could happen. But anyway, I guess part of me is always wondering like how people could be like, oh yes, you're our gods now. But if the Evinuris were the first among their people to give themselves mortal form, and then gave that to other spirits, showed them how to do it, or potentially forced them to do it, they are essentially the creators. That's their original name. That's the elven name for them. There's not necessarily just gods. The elven people called their gods the creators. Oh my gosh. They created their physical forms. Or they at least created the way to give them physical forms. And that would just shoot it up right there. It's like, you made us how we are now. We are crafted in your image. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can I don't know if I can handle all this happening at once. Holy cow.
This is... Are all elves spirits somehow? Am I a spirit?
To be clear, this memory only shows that the first elves originated from spirits. You three are no more spirits than anyone else conceived naturally.
Conceived naturally? Guess I'll go ask my mother.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
That would be...
If we let it out.
Yeah.
Is that the right
No,
call?
bad.
Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Yeah.
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
No, oh, gall. No, but this would also explain why elves have traditionally had more, like, this is why they were often preferred for blood magic rituals by Tevinter, is because their blood, like, their life force, somehow seemed imbued with more magic than any other species did. Oh my gosh. I mean, it would make sense if they all were originally Fade denizens, if they were all spirits made of magic, and then their mortal forms were formed from entities who reproduced after having those forms made by magic. Wow. I have no idea. I've recorded like 3 episodes, like 3 1-hour almost segments in a row, and I have no idea. I'm just splitting it all up. I don't think, at least right now, it's selfish maybe, but I wouldn't want this to get out. It's already bad enough as it is. It'll get out eventually, but like, announcing it from the rooftops, especially now, elves have had a hard enough time of it all, you know?
If the world learned about this, and it led to attacks against elves...
Elves have enough trouble as it is down in Ferelden.
Yeah. We have to tell someone, though. Strife in Ireland, at least?
No!
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one would believe us.
That's fair.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust, who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
Yeah.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solas himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Wisdom.
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solas didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Right. He only agreed after Mathal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solas was scared.
Yeah.
They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
I heard the Titans! What am I thinking? It's kind of wild to me. I don't know if Solas put these on the wall himself, or if they merely... Because, like, why would you surround yourself with the representations of your regrets that you wish to forget? But potentially they just, like, kind of manifested here because they were such strong regrets, you know? But yeah, they built their bodies out... And then she just straight up says it. They built their bodies out of lyrium. Yeah, and if your body's made from lyrium and your soul is made from fade magic... You would be, even if your mortal forms reproduced and it like died out as it went, like it went got less and less and less, like that sort of magical connection, like still, there'd be stronger remnants than with anybody else, you know.
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
The first memory we saw with Elganon seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Okay.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture.
Where's the blight coming
from,
you know?
But I think that's part of what Solas regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mithal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented if he just told her no.
What?
Then he's got a war on his conscience.
What?
Plus, whatever we find next.
What? Everything that followed he could have prevented if he had not taken a physical form? Oh my gosh, I have more? Where are they all coming from? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we have that one over there. How many remember? Oh, okay, maybe the ones that I picked up that I walked through the fade with are... Okay, yes, because I walked through the Fade and experienced the memory, and then I picked up a Solas statue after that, and I'm seeing those now also. I thought that, like, when I unlocked the last 2 statues, I would do something similar. I'd walk through a barrier of some sort and experience the memory myself. And so I thought those were off the table, but they're not. Those statues still contain their own other memories also. Okie dokie. Shoot, but that thing with Lucanus is like, oh, Solas could have prevented this all if he had just said no. What? Like, one guy is gonna stop a group of like 8 people, you know, that wanted to do this anyway. Like, all of them were doing the body thing and causing problems. You know, he participated in the fact that he created a body for himself so that he could go with Mythal and like stay with her. In the way that she asked him to, you know, in the form she asked him to. And he chose that. But, like, him saying no wouldn't have changed what the others did with their actions. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, Solas thinks it's a bad idea. Maybe we shouldn't. They'd already made their bodies, I think, by that point. You know what I mean? And if he didn't have a body, how would he have done the rebellion, maybe, or something? You know what I mean? Like, the spirit still could have, but, like, I don't know. I think he would not have felt the same things that he felt, that he's feeling now. I mean, that's part of his regret, is feeling all the things he feels, is like... And yes, technically his name means pride, but, like... I think it's not necessarily, like, it's pride in, like, not a bad way? I don't know. Anyway, this is wild. I haven't, like... Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry! Oh my gosh. That's beautiful, too. I remember I first saw that outline, and I was like, oh, is that like a strange dragon? With the eyes. The dagger.
Have you created what we need?
With this, the proper ritual will sunder every titan from its spirit. But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger.
They did make the blight.
It is awful what we're doing.
And the only way to end this war.
What? Hold on. What? So they made the blight!
Solas made the weapon that killed the Titans.
I am holding the weapon.
No, not killed. He cut away their dreams and left them broken and mindless.
Kind of like Tranquil.
He passed me in the halls of Skyhold for a year. He made polite conversation, and he knew. He knew what he did.
Wow. Okay, so they did make the blight. But then what about Andrew's story? I guess maybe they were like experimenting with the blight. If the Evineers didn't think, I mean, if they didn't think they were like real entities in some way, then I guess it's like, oh yeah, I can see why you would do that. But no, like, why did you need to fight them in the first place? You know, it's like, why did you need a physical form? I guess they wanted a physical form maybe because whatever the maker is didn't appreciate spirits. And now I've always wondered how it would, you know, I said this a while ago. I'm pretty sure I said something like this, where it was just like, how must it feel to be those first children and be looked upon by your God and be found insufficient because of how he made you? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my gosh. And so they were like, no, well, now we want, if this is what you want, if physical manifestation is what you want, deity, like, okay, we'll do it ourselves then, you know? And maybe this is the crux of the whole issue for why so many Fade spirits and demons want to cross the veil and experience life. And like experience reality, the mortal world, right? Is because like they were found wanting. And I think even the Chantry says it a little bit like this, where it's like because they were found wanting, they want to experience life as the favored children have, essentially. And And he crafted the dagger to do this. So Lucanus is like, he could have stopped whatever happened. I'm like, what do you mean? But like, apparently Solas is the reason that the Titans are sundered. He tore them from their dreams, which is what happens with the tranquil some way. So in some way, when any mortal is made tranquil, they are separated from the Fade. They no longer dream. I think I've mentioned it before, but they no longer dream. They no longer have access to magic, and they no longer have access to any of their emotions. They don't go wild. They're just like kind of empty husks a little bit, with still talking, speaking, eating, but they don't really have any desires at all. No dreams, no hopes, no emotions. It's just, they just exist. And like can work with lyrium. And I wonder if that must like give them some sort of comfort to have some sort of connection to that, to a little bit of connection to the Fade. Maybe that's why they can do it, is because they've been so separated from it, but it still calls to them in some way. Oh, wow. And Solas calls dwarves children of the stone. Like, he calls Varric that in... Oh, my gosh. Man, now I need to go through and listen to the Varric and Solas interactions again, because they were always good, but, like... It always seemed like Solas knew more about the dwarves than he was letting on, Not always, but like there was sometimes he'd say things and it's like, oh, like that's an odd way to say it or something, and then later you're like, does he know more? Especially after Descent or after Trespasser. But like, dang, yeah. I mean, what did you want him to do? Like all of a sudden fall over and be like, I'm so sorry, Harding. I'm the reason your entire civilization was changed. You know what I mean? Yeah, we need to get more details on this, like why the Evaniers thought it was necessary to do this. And Solas obviously didn't want to, but he did choose to do this so that the war would be ended. Because Mythal told him that it was the right thing to do. And I won't negate his part in this. He made the choice to say yes. And it is here that where he could have said no and changed the outcome of things. Here is the spot where he should have said no, but he didn't. Oh, that seems pretentious, honestly. I am sorry for my... I'm like, what do you mean you're sorry for your people? Like, pity my people. But it's actually, I think it's like, I give you my regret as one of the people who did this. But like, I don't know, you're not one of the... You are in no way at all like what the Evanier is. You know what I mean? Like, that just is like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, what is that white guilt that's like wielded as a weapon or whatever sometimes,
No mystery why he wants to forget this.
As a mage, and apparently a scholar, Solas doubtless regrets destroying the minds of the Titans.
No, it's worse than that. That isn't what Solas regrets. Those severed dreams will be driven mad, a disembodied blight of pain and anger.
Mierda.
You can't. That's not possible.
Yeah.
When a warden hears the calling, it's like a song in their mind. Sound familiar to you, Lace?
The song of lyrium. Of the Titans.
We think of the Blight as this monstrous force with no mercy, no compassion. Evil incarnate. Instead, it's a caged animal. Mistreated and imprisoned for centuries. Until all it knows is fear.
This would also potentially explain why Solas is able to cure the Blight, because apparently the dagger that we have, by the way, the dagger we have right now that we are holding on our hip is the dagger that sundered the Titans from their dreams and like from themselves, essentially. But apparently, like, there's an aspect of Titan that still exists, and we encountered it in the Descent, and we've encountered it in Harding. I'm curious now, like, there's obviously got to be like two halves of the Titan, but both halves seem upset. The Titan that possessed Harding was upset, and the Descent DLC, you fight like a remnant of a Titan, and it is aggressive. Or like an entity that's like made by a Titan or something like that. I can't quite remember. But like, there was a lot of questions in the Descent DLCs and not a lot of answers. And now we are getting those answers. They are wrapping this up. So the Blight is... But the Blight is not the physical manifestation. The lyrium and like the Titan bodies and the things that we encounter must be the remnants of the physical manifestations of the Titans. And the Blight is their dreams, their like souls, kind of, I guess. And, you know, seeks, and that's why, and then when it blights lyrium, it makes the red lyrium. Maybe it's like seeking out lyrium. Anyway, no, I'm like, why does it seek darkspawn? Like, blah, 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 you know, but like, yeah, I think I want to ask the darkspawn thing. It's like, yeah, can we fix it? But like, the blight made darkspawn somehow in some twisted way that Gillenon did, or maybe it's a remnant of them making dwarves, right? Where the Titans, if they created the dwarves, the children of the stone or whatever, blah blah blah, Gaul, maybe they somehow still have some way of making something, and that darkspawn is all they can make. Or when they blight something, and then it, because they don't just, the darkspawn don't just spawn out. I told you guys it's the broodmothers thing. At least it has been. I don't know if they're going to change it. They can corrupt entities, and then they will reproduce to make more and more darkspawn. Yeah, let's ask.
What does this mean for darkspawn? Should we be trying to help them?
I don't believe so. If the blight is a corrupted dream, darkspawn may be mindless manifestations of its anger.
Right. They're not people. We're never going to get
well.
The Titans are a problem for later. We have Algernon and Gillian to deal with
Lucanus
now.
is very
and then
on
I
track.
want Solas to look me in the eye and answer for what he did.
Each of these memories has been a deeper regret, and almost all of them involve Mythal.
Only one mural left to uncover by my count. If we find it, we'll see what's worse than this.
Mythal's death! Oh, a memory of tranquility. Oh, you bastards! They didn't give me the last one. They didn't give me the last one. Oh no, they did. Okay. Oh, okay. I was like, wait. I thought it was saying you gotta find more, and I was like, what do you mean I have to find more? This is going to be. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I was wondering if the blight was like a separate entity somehow from the void, somehow spawned by the Forgotten Ones. Or are the Forgotten Ones Titans, maybe? Maybe that's this whole thing? Maybe that's what it is. Like, the names are actually just, I guess, like, maybe there was, like, 4 original Titans, or however many. Yeah, I think it was, like, 4, or maybe 6? I don't know. There was some. And maybe they were, like, the Titan entities. And there was something, but something messed with Andril, right? Like, there was, maybe that was, like, post-tearing asunder the Titans, and then they were like, oh shoot, oh, so this can affect us, and oh, this is bad, you know. Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, we already said, like, I think in this mural over here, right, where it was like, I'm sealing you away for what you did to Mythal. It's like, and he was only sealing away, I think there was only 7. Yeah, I think there's only 7 entities on there. I do wish we were getting more from the other gods. It's just Elgarnon and Gillian, and like I feel like these memories would have Elgarnon would obviously feature in them, but like, and Gillian because she's the one who not created the blight apparently, but did utilized it in ways that it shouldn't have been utilized. I wonder if Andril went back. Yes, Andril went back in to the void wherever the Titans had been like sealed away, and like when she went in there to fight them again, I guess maybe she was blighted with what had been left to them, like when like the rage or something, or maybe the Forgotten Ones are maybe the manifestations of angers of the Titans that were sort of killed and left physical, and then the blight is sort of like their anger made manifest when she was in there with them, and she brought it back with her. Maybe Gillian was just trying to save her, and then realized like the potential of the blight as a weapon or something. Anyway, yeah, the timeline's a little iffy for me right now still, but it's like did Andril go in post-winning the war or pre-winning the war? And like, did she start the war, or did she just go in to mess around and found out, you know what I mean, afterwards, like when things were supposed to be peaceful? Wow. Wow. I mean, I'm glad I'm getting these all at once because I think it's almost easier, but it is a lot of lore to be dropped on at once. But it's all confirming most of what I thought and then adding a few extra pieces to make it make sense, you know? I am not emotionally ready for this one. I might need a minute, and if it's just like looking at the wall, maybe it's one thing, but if I have to watch it happen, I'm gonna probably have a hard time.
Since we had to cut it off there, I want to go ahead and give a little quick shout out to my patrons. I want to say thank you to all my patrons, starting out with my Acorn tier patrons. Thank you so much, Fane, for your support, and thank you so much, Leo, for your support. If I say that wrong, I'm so sorry. I want to give an extra special shout out to my Sapling tier patrons. Thank you so much, Reese Galito, for your support. I very much appreciate it, and I still appreciate the blanket. Thank you. And I really want to say thank you to my other supporter, Sebastian James, my old friend. Thank you so much for your support. I very much appreciate you as well. And I want to give an extra special shout out to my Forest tier patrons who have gone above and beyond in their support of me and the channel and who I truly cannot thank enough. So thank you so much, Christopher, as always, for your support. I treasure it a lot. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Nightshade, for joining the crew up there in the forest. I appreciate you so much, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. So thank you all again for joining me and for being on Patreon and watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.